All right, guys, episode 29. Started a little late today, so we're going to be on crunch time.
29.
I'm sure we can speed through everything. Yeah, episode 29.
Holy cow.
I'm trying
Jack
some new...
29 times to figure out how to get the cameras working.
Stop.
Who said they're working?
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually dialed into our laptop.
Yeah.
Video
So we
camera.
actually, we're trying some new stuff today, some new layouts and things. We love any feedback from you guys in the comments. If it looks terrible, let us know. If it looks great, let us know. If it looks mediocre, let us know. Other than that, though, not a whole lot to cover this week. There is some stuff going on with Target cutting reseals on products.
They've been doing that, right? It's just taking all this time for people to get angry about it.
I
Is
don't
that,
know.
Is that what it comes down to?
That kind of like a manager discretion? Because I've never seen that personally.
It's select stores, apparently.
Yeah.
So it says here, to combat scalpers, some Target locations are actively slicing or completely removing the outer shrink wrap on high-demand Pokemon trading card items like Elite Trainer boxes before selling them. This renders the box uncollectible to sealed product resellers since online buyers fear tampering, thus keeping stock available for genuine fans. Here's my thing with this. Aren't like the rip-and shippers, though? They don't care, right? They just want the packs.
Correct.
So it doesn't stop the resellers. The rip-and shippers are still going to go wait in line and hijack their packs.
I mean, it is until one person with 18 people watching opens a ETB and it has the wrong packs in it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It still would hurt it, though, because the only other way to sell it is by the loose pack SKUs on TCG Player, and you can do lots on eBay. And so you wouldn't be able to get as much sales throughput by just having 100 sellers all selling loose packs, all collectively. So but I mean, what percentage of scalper sales come specifically from the collective action of Target, that one store or two stores? If it was all Targets, maybe it might move the needle, but we're talking a very small percent that actually do it.
This is, in my head, this is more a corporate Target thing that has the secondary action is it combats the scalpers. I don't think it being the idea to combat scalpers is the idea. Target doesn't care. Once again, if you zoom out, Target's whole goal is to buy things at wholesale and sell them at retail, right? And so they want to buy as much stuff as they can and have it not sit on their shelf. So the CEO, maybe, or the guy, whoever the guy is, loves Pokemon because he buys as much of it as he can from the distributor. What's the different distributor for them is? Excel.
Yeah.
Buys Excel brands, right? He buys as much as he can. And he knows that it moves instantly. The problem is the guy that sits to the left or the right of that dude is like, bro, we don't want social media showing that the Target at Shawnee Mission Parkway had 6 guys and one of them pulled out a gun, right? Because like that's what's going to happen. And so that guy says, hey, let's do this. I asked some people. We got a focus group together. I paid for a third-party consultant that was private equity based or whatever. And they said, hey, you should stick a knife through the seal.
At what point does Target just say, like, it seems like that's the wrong countermeasure. Isn't the right countermeasure for Target just simply saying, well, instead of charging $55 a box, I'm charging $100?
Yeah, correct.
And do what
that's
GameStop
the right,
does?
That's the right count. That is the correct countermeasure.
Versus opening them up. Like I wonder, does Target not have, if you look at their millions of SKUs that they have across all of their stores, let's say, surely they don't have like a spreadsheet that says we're charging a flat 30% margin on everything we sell and we don't care.
Correct.
Like they got some products that they sell more. Well, why not Pokemon? Unless Pokemon has like an embargo or something that says, hey, for us to send you our 2.5 million units, you can't sell it above this.
Well, they have raised prices from MSRP.
Yeah.
MSRP is dictated by Pokemon Center, right? What you can buy it for on Pokemon Center.
I noticed that. I used to joke that Target was a scalper. About a year and a half ago, like, hey, they're selling for more than MSRP.
Yeah.
Like GameStop.
$70 an ETB?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is increasing incrementally. I saw a post the other day that I thought was kind of interesting. One of the Target employees had jacked the SBCs of Prismatic that Target had gotten in, and they were already cut, and he stashed them under the little lift up tab of the shelving. Yeah. But that's not the end of it. They go to like find the SBCs. He had already taken all the packs and everything out. So they just found empty SPC boxes under the shelving unit. I don't know. Are employees now going to be taking advantage? Is this something you guys think Walmart might implement too?
Well, there's some stuff on X where it's like a guy tagging all of the Dollar General store like handles for X and being like, hey, here's 5 stores. I don't know what their store numbers are, but here's their locations where there are no Pokemon products because they're all backdoored every single time they come in. So this one person is selling it to somebody else, right? And it's like, we all know that that's going on. Right. We all know it. And the reason that I know it is there are some specific Dollar General products. There are sleeve packs that have the sticker on the front are to the distributor for Dollar General. There are Dollar General gets reprints that have the price on the actual product. It's not a sticker. You don't put a sticker on, the price is on there. And it's like when someone brings in a box of 40 of those to trade in, did they just take an army to all the Dollar Generals in Kansas City? Probably not, right?
Well, did you see that one of the Dollar Generals responded to it on X?
No.
Yeah. I wish I could find that tweet. Yeah, they said something like, we take this very seriously.
Yeah.
Like when they did the whole PR thing. But yeah, it was kind of wild.
Yeah, as long as there is immediate arbitrage between what the secondary market is doing and what you can buy it for. In the car business, when you have a high demand vehicle, which I may be a little bit out of touch, but I think currently one of the highest demand American products is a Escalade, a Cadillac Escalade. You can't find them at dealerships, generally speaking. And if you do, that dealership may arbitrarily add additional money on top of the MSRP of that vehicle because they know that someone's willing to pay it. A lot of Ford stores have done that with their Raptor trucks. A lot of Dodge stores have done that with their high-end Challengers, etc. Subaru did it with some of their limited release cars. You take the MSRP and you add to it because you know it's in high demand. So it's not outside of the normal bounds for someone to respond to the secondary market because it doesn't make American sense to go buy something brand new and then be able to sell it pre-owned for more than what you paid for it brand new. That just doesn't make sense. Right? Everybody would do that had the ability to. And so that's what we see with Pokemon at scale is you buy a booster bundle at $28.50 or whatever it is, 6 packs, and you immediately go to Marketplace and you sell it for $80. As long as that exists, people are going to continue to do this unless they're buying them for $75, right? And because you're generally not going to make that $5 arbitrage when you include tax is non-existent. And so it feels right that the right countermeasure is to increase the price at Target and Walmart.
It seems like you're going to get negative blowback either way.
Yeah.
So whether you rip it or you charge more, and it's like the person who does it first is the one that gets all the negative blowback. Well, GameStop's already done it. Right. They've already kind of set the into motion. There's already been a lot of negative blowback already. Yeah. So the secondary follower that comes along, they don't quite get the heat as much. And it starts to kind of be the norm. And then TCG stores like us that we get such limited allocations that we've got to buy bundles, that you got to buy a bunch of other crap to go with it. We haven't been selling an MSRP since Surgeon Sparks came out.
Yeah.
So for us, I really don't care. I mean, that has already passed. People walk into our store and they know that they're going to pay over MSRP. Not for singles, not for slabs. We charge market price for those always. But for sealed product, yeah, we do. And so for us, it's like expected. But for me to see it now, it's like I was almost kind of like 2 things. From a business standpoint, happy that GameStop was doing it. It gives the store kind of more justification for, well, big companies are doing it. So see, but from a consumer, yeah, it does suck. I mean, it is kind of painful.
It's kind of weird though, right?
But would you rather if it meant that you were paying 80 or 90 for an ETB, but when you walked in, you knew that you could buy one, right? Versus I've gone 20 times and 19 out of the 20 times there's been no product on the shelves, and the only thing I can buy is a 2-pack sleeved. So for me as a consumer, if I want to go and I actually want to spend some money and open packs with my kids or whatever, I would rather have access to the product at a higher price point than have the answer be that there's no product at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are probably in that camp that will say, yeah, I'll pay $80.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think that's the linchpin. I think that's the part where you get this righteous indignation from the general public, which is there's nothing. Back to my car example. If an Escalade is in high demand, a brand new Escalade is in high demand, and it's a $120,000 vehicle and people are charging an extra $15,000, dealerships are because they have it. Well, when you go to a car dealership, there's more than just Escalades at that car dealership.
My wife's Toyota Sienna had a $5,000 increase above MSRP for demand.
Right.
There's a lot of cars that have the premium.
But you have an option. You don't have to just buy that one. You
Yeah.
can buy something else. There's something else that you can do to sate your desire to get a vehicle, right? The challenge with Pokemon, in my opinion, where this righteous indignation comes from, is you walk into a store, there's nothing. There's nothing. And so,
And there's another domino here. When there is something, if I can buy it without limits, I'm going to be that guy that buys it all, because
Correct.
I'm not just looking at me the one time, be only going in, finding product on the shelves and getting my one loan ETB.
Yeah.
I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you know what? I haven't been able to buy anything at any level of rip and packs for 20 trips. This is my time to shine.
Yeah.
I'm freaking loading my cart up.
We were just talking about this, Kraus, you and I. We were saying like the psychology of it. It's like it gets to the point where when you get in there, it's like I have to buy all this.
Yes.
because I'm not going to see it again.
Correct.
Even
For
if I
20
don't
more
want
trips.
to.
and
Yeah.
and if you dear listener, dear viewer, if you disagree with that, just go Google, toilet paper shortages, right? It's like all of a sudden there's, and that happened in COVID, but now it happens. We live in the Midwest. So if there's a tornado or a winter storm warning, right? You try to go to a store and buy a snow shovel. There's some dude standing in line with 11 snow shovels, right?
We had that's a perfect segue into this counter example. We had a major storm last summer that came through. It dumped like 10 inches of rain in like an hour. My basement flooded as a result of it. So it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I head down to Lowe's and Home Depot. The sump pumps are sold out.
Yeah.
It happened across the board. Hoses were like wiped.
Yeah.
And then the utility pumps, the battery operated pump, you put 4 double D batteries in it, and it kind of pumps water out to trickle. It's not like a big pump. There were people that were buying all of them up and then selling them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they knew.
They knew.
They knew that, oh my gosh. And the same thing happens when there's a major snowstorm. All the snow blowers are gone.
Yeah.
The
salt
goes out.
Bread goes $1.79 a loaf bread. All of a sudden gone, right?
Yeah.
Eggs.
But there is this point. It doesn't just matter on Pokemon. It's this whole idea of consumerism and free marketplace, and people realize that, hey, I can make a profit off of buying hoses when the Kansas City Metro, 2.5 million people, have a major storm, and all of the big box retail stores that have home repair stuff, if they might have 20 sump pumps in stock across the entirety of the city.
And there's going to be more than 20 people that need it, and they're going to need it desperately, so I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And
it's the same thing why when there's a storm, you get the call or a knock on your door saying, hey, I'm with an insurance company or a roofing company.
Yeah.
We're just conveniently in your area. Can we look at your roof?
yeah. It's the same thing. Hail guys, that's exactly what they do. They follow the weather patterns and they move from city to city, and they don't live here. Like most of the people that come and do, whether it's cars or houses, the hail inspectors, they move with the storms.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a local company. They're contractors or whatever the case may be.
We have digressed.
Which comes back to the pure economic principle. The textbook principle states that when there is a market inefficiency, if you're in the position to own the inventory, you should. All things being held equal, right?
Yeah.
So back to your point of, if you walk into the store and you happen to, school's getting ready to start for us, right? So we're all fathers. We all got kids that are going to school. If you walk into the store on the first day after you drop your kids off from school and you're like, because you're normally not out at that time because you're usually at home with your kids, but now you are, and your significant other texts you, or you know that you need to go grab something at the store, and you walk into the store and you see a whole display of ETBs and booster bundles and sleeve packs. The first thought in my mind, I won't speak for you guys, even though Travis already said it, is, oh, I'm buying all that. Give me that. Right? Like, because it's just so ingrained. I go to Target and Walmart 2 or 3 times a week, and I always check, always walk by it. There's nothing there. Because I've got a little dude, all my family, but specifically my 11-year-old, he loves ripping packs.
Yeah.
And so if you can buy packs, we want to open them.
Yeah.
And so when you can get a pack, at $3 or $4 or whatever it is in an EX box, we do that. And so when I see it, I just feel now it's like, oh, I gotta have it.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because the other topic I had on here is all these Targets now have these new Tops card aisles that they're putting in. I know our Target, our local one, has them in both places still. So
Dick's Sporting Goods has an awesome card thing now. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the things that they've done. Really high end, really.
I do know they were selling Pokemon cards. But,
Yeah, it's kind of like
imagine sports cards too and stuff.
as soon as like it gets that mainstream, we're like, I'm wondering if this is going to be like the repeat of like the mid '80s when like baseball cards were like, it's like
And
junk
they did
wax
the junk
now.
wax, yeah.
Now it's junk wax, but it was selling like crazy back then. I just hope that this isn't a sign of like, okay, Target has retrofitted their whole front display. They
Yeah.
look pretty good.
Yeah.
Dick's has retrofitted their own thing. There's new card shops popping up.
Yeah,
left and right.
There's been like 3 here in the metro in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
You guys see Larry's got a new store?
I did.
Yeah.
And what's the one? Spanky's moved also. Spanky's
did
was
they?
in. Yeah,
I didn't hear about that
they
one.
just in like similar to how we moved. Right, they just went from one location in that area to another one, and it's large.
Yeah. Larry's was too.
We're all cashing in that scalper money.
Yeah, so you know.
After we pay scalper prices.
Back to the junk wax thing, you know, one of the differences between the junk wax era and Pokemon now is there's all this data and analytics and just experience. Junk wax was basically for basketball, and is my limited knowledge there. It's like from like late 80s to late 90s ish, but in the midst of that, they still print the same amount of cards relative, but they have all these chase cards that you want to go get, right? When I
I love that about sports. I
Yeah.
love the 1-for-1s, the 5-of-5s, the 15s and 15s,
Yeah.
the autographs,
When
the,
I
the
first
refractors.
when I first collected cards, I went to a card show and I asked a dude, "Hey, what's your most expensive card you got here?" And it was from a brand new set. It was from NFL, and it was a holographic Lombardi trophy. And I remember my dad saying, "I can't believe someone would pay $300 for a piece of cardboard." Right? Now we're in a space where it's
just-
hundreds
that's
of
cheap.
times that. Yeah, right. But they started to enter chase cards. So even if Pokemon does, let's just say that they could wave a wand and press a button, and all of a sudden they could make 40 billion cards hit the market. I think they know that for people to want to open their packs, they can't just have all commons and uncommons. They've got to keep the chases.
Yeah.
And if you 4x the amount of cards being printed, then you're still going to have these chase cards to go get. And you'd have to believe that they would put the chase cards to be something that people actually want. Pokemon that people care about or have a fan following. So you're going to get Charizards and Pikachus and et cetera. So
Yeah.
Except unless you're Perfect Order and Chaos Rising, in which case it kind of tanks the market.
and Pitch Black. Now we are about to hit that phase of releases where we've had 3 releases in a row of less known Pokemon. The next release is Celebrations. The one after that is going to be Rayquaza. I don't know. Lucario is probably the
Aura
one after
Seeker,
that.
yeah. And then Mega Parade is the high class set.
Yeah, so don't know what Mega Parade looks like in the
Well,
US.
remember, we had a show about 15 episodes ago that we did the comparison. This is when Perfect Order came out, and we did the comparison about if you look at Sword and Shield base set,
Yep.
you had Darkness Ablaze, Rebel Clash, Battle Styles, Vivid Voltage in that early block. And it wasn't until Evolving Skies, Sword and Shield 7,
Yep.
that thing started kind of picking up steam. Celebrations was a set that came out right before that. Chilling Reign was Sword and Shield 6.
Yep.
So you went from Chilling Reign, the introduction of the alternative arts. They didn't exist before then. And it is kind of funny that we're
Battle
on
Styles.
set number 6
Yep.
coming out with Delta Rain.
Yep.
And I think that they're probably transitioning away from that artwork thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of shifting. The whole I don't know what they kind of have in store, but it's like if they just release banger after banger after banger after banger, it's just like
Well, where I was going was they've got these next couple sets that traditionally in the line, right? Because Sword and Shield 7 is Evolving Skies. Scarlet and Violet 8 is Surging Sparks. 8.5 is Prismatic. 9 Journey Together. 10 Destined Rivals.
same thing. It was actually the same thing with Scarlet and Violet.
Right.
You had Obsidian Flames and Paldea and Paradox.
Yep.
The early
Temporal.
era people. It just kind of was like
Twilight,
bleh.
yeah, Shrouded Fable, right? So same sort of thing. Well, we're getting to the back end of the mega block. We're getting to a spot where you've got this Celebration set, which we've all been aware of for the last 5 years. Then you've got the Rayquaza set coming out. Then you got a Lucario set. And Lucario is, I wouldn't put him on the same level as Rayquaza and Charizard, but he's not Darkrai. No offense, Jack.
We already had Lucario in base set.
Yeah, but he shared it with Gardevoir. And this is the new Mega Lucario Z, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be some stands for that, which is fine. But then we're going to hit Wind and Waves. And
Yeah.
we're going to hit
Is that the next era?
That's the
Yeah,
next
it's
era.
coming.
That's the next video game. So
Was
we're gonna
it?
hit.
Wasn't the Mega Block only 12 sets?
We don't know.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that it was only going to be. It wasn't going to be as long of a set as
That was-
Sword and Shield and.
Correct. It's
Yeah, that
not
was
going to be.
speculation.
That it shouldn't be. And from like a total card set, it won't be because they've done so many single releases. But Wind and Waves, I think, is due for a release date coming up in Worlds. I think at Worlds they're going to give us a date of when Wind and Waves comes out.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, then we're going to hit the next block.
Wasn't it
and we're
late
gonna-
2027?
Yeah, and then we're gonna have base set Wind and Waves, and then set 2 Wind and Waves, and set 3 Wind and Waves, which historically have been not bangers, right?
Yeah.
Going back the last couple generations.
Specifically, when
if you go back
it's a
to
new generation.
Yeah, even if you go
because
back to
nobody knows
Sun and
Pokemon.
Moon, right? Like Sun and Moon is real similar too, until they started doing the tag teams halfway through the
That
Sun
was
and
the
Moon era.
backside.
Yeah, like that's all on the backside.
Yep.
And so we're about to hit whatever peak we're about to be at is about to fall off when they introduce the new block because
Let's
you're gonna
hope that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because I love when things are just crazy, and I'm probably the opposite. A lot of people, but if the market went back to the Paldea Evolved era, everybody would be sad. And I've talked about that before. And so it's like, but if the low this cycle is what we're experiencing right now, that's not even a low.
Yeah, correct.
Compare the low of Perfect Order and Pitch Black to the
Obsidian Flame.
Apex start, not the Apex, the start, like the Surging Spark hype.
Yeah, it's the same.
It is.
It's the same. What you paid for a Surging Sparks booster box at the start of this whole craziness is very similar to what you could go buy a Chaos Rising booster
Yeah.
box for right now. And we thought that was nuts. And that's I feel like that's a good segue into this next thing that you have on the agenda, which is reprints.
Let's talk about reprints.
So I feel pretty confident that Destin, Black and White, Journey Together are going to get some reprints. I don't think Journey Together is going to get booster boxes or product. I think Journey Together is going to get thrown into some EX boxes. That's my
So
opinion.
a non-TCG says there are Journey Together booster boxes coming, but they are not the enhanced versions.
There you
They're
go.
Regs.
And Destin Rivals should be ETBs and booster boxes, I
Yes,
think.
no ETBs for Journey. It'll be booster boxes only on Journey. This is what's what's
The
out
hubbub,
there.
yeah.
Destin will be booster boxes and ETBs, and then Black and White's supposed to be the poster collections.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
I'm super excited to see Black and White coming back around.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we never see that.
Which means that if Prismatic's not included there, Prismatic might be dead, except for there may be one final gasp that it gets like Crown Zenith got. Crown Zenith got booster bundles real late in its production cycle. And then the Target or the Costco exclusive boxes, whatever
that's
they're
right.
called. That was like the last gasp for Crown Zenith. And so I would assume that Prismatic is going to be similar, but there's no Prismatic on this list, which then means those evolutions they're going to be at where they're at. They're not going to fall anymore.
Yeah. Do you guys think we'll get a Ascended Heroes UPC at some point?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think Ascended Heroes products are done.
No, I don't think so either. I was just curious about a UPC maybe at some point.
I mean, Zenith was still releasing 151 was still releasing
we never
2
got
years.
a Crown Zenith UPC.
No, they did the sword and they did the one that came out.
They did the
After
Charizard.
Lost Origin.
Shining Skies, the Sams.
Well, they did that, but they didn't do the UPC that came out in Sword and Shield was Charizard, and it came out after Lost Origin.
Yeah.
They didn't do a specific UPC for it like they did for Prismatic, which was a SP special or whatever.
Everybody forgets about the Terrapagos.
Oh yeah.
And the Greninja.
There was a
I've got
Greninja.
13 of those in the warehouse. I was just organizing yesterday.
Okay, that's a good point. While we're on that with Stellar Crown, I saw a comparison the other day to Surging Sparks and Stellar Crown, and it was like, don't buy Surging, should buy Stellar Crown
Yeah.
because of the short print.
Yeah.
And we've talked about the short print on this
Yeah.
podcast before. And then they're looking at that and they're going, okay, now you've got a Destined Rivals reprint coming and you've got Perfect Order. Do you think Perfect Order is going to end up like Stellar Crown, or is it too low? on the totem
There's
pole?
not a card in Perfect Order like there is in Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown has 2 of the starters.
That's true.
It's
There's a
got
Meowth.
Squirter and Bulbasaur.
I think Stellar Crown is a great set, and then people with the 2 IR starters, and then some like the Celluridge.
Yeah, Ceruledge. Yeah.
No, that was in Surging.
Not the SIR. I'm talking about the IR.
Yeah, it's Surging. Yeah, Stellar.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
There's 2 of them. There's the SIR and the IR.
SIR's in Prismatic, the IR's in Surging.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
I know the art, brother. Come at me, brother. Yeah, no. Stellar had the Terrapagos. It had a Galvantula SIR. There was a Hydrapple SIR, I think.
And a Hydreigon. Nope, that's surging.
No, High Dragon was surging. There was no. It was a small set. It was one of those 1-to-1 sets,
Yeah.
like we talk about.
Yep.
But the Squirtle and Bulbasaur ended up being the two most expensive cards in the set.
And they weren't for the start.
Yeah,
The
no.
turtle was. Terapagos was
Yeah.
for a long time.
That was the first stellar SIR we got with the rainbow border.
Correct. Squirtle, Bulbasaur, there's the Doxbun, the Hydrapple, the Terapagos, Galvantula, and then you get into the IRs, Milcery, Zorora, and then Gulpin, Big Mouth Gulpin.
Oh, damn, Jack's right.
Of course I'm right.
Yeah. So
You got to stop acting so surprised when I'm right.
I think I don't think I would have been able to say this when we started this podcast, but now watching how these sets perform, it
The
really
Dash Bun is up to 65. That
Yeah.
was like a $20
Yeah,
card.
that
Yeah.
surprised me. Well, I think you brought that up on
did.
the hot list a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. We all were like, "Whoa, Doxbun going kind of."
But I think everything for a set kind of revolves around what card is carrying it. Yeah, that Doxbun just back in like January was a $25 card.
Yeah.
What is the card that's carrying the set? And so when you look at Perfect Order, once again, Stellar Crown has 2 over $100 cards in the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle.
Perfect Clefairy.
Perfect Order, it's not going to be a $100 card.
But you don't say that. You never know.
You're fair. That's fair.
Clefairy is actually a sick card.
Now,
I
listen,
like that Clefairy.
if Perfect Order ends up being like Stellar Crown,
Yeah.
and it is short printed, there's a very real chance that the Clefairy does become a $100
Yeah,
card because you can't find it.
Clefairy has to outperform like the Mega Zygarde SIR and the Mega Zygarde Gold. One of the things in
You're
these,
talking about the IR, right?
Yeah.
the IR.
Yeah, the IR is really cool.
One-
We should actually buy about 100 copies of that.
And it has a connecting art with the Mega Clefable SIR.
with these newer sets though, one of the things that you do have is the gold cards will potentially carry them. That's like
Yeah.
a built-in carry.
Stellar Crown didn't have that.
for the set. Correct. I
I
mean, it
don't
has gold
understand
cards.
the fascination with the gold cards this cycle.
It's
We
because
talked
they're so
about
hard
that.
to pull.
I know, but they were hard to pull before. They were
Didn't
always
feel like it, though,
They
did
were
they?
always the.
Well, they had
I mean, you very rarely pull a gold card out of anything Sword and Shield era.
bro.
you know?
I've only opened like 11 packs of Silver Tempest, and I pulled the stupid Gape Jaw, whatever it is, like the gold card.
Oh, the trainer?
I've seen somebody pull a gold out of Evolving Skies. Right, it was the Turf Field Stadium. Right,
Yeah.
so
Maybe it is. Maybe it is lower.
Well,
but
I don't think it's lower. I think part of it though is the gold cards that you got in those older sets were not Pokemon.
They still had.
They had them. I know all like the Tapus,
They were
right?
full arty. They
yeah,
weren't-
kind of sparkly, like full art, like
you know,
Rillaboom.
okay, I think I know what it is. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. It's the chromatics from Black and White. When those hit,
Yeah.
then you had these new golds come out that felt
Similar
like
rarity.
chromatics from
Yeah.
Black and White, but
Yeah.
they were gold. And
It is
so
funny.
now-
Why did they only have those black and white ones? Because it's black and white.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, they had
But
the
then
red
we're red.
Victini.
Well, I don't know if you knew this. You weren't here, Trav. They've got a new rarity coming out in Celebrations. That's green, blue, red. GBR, RBG, whatever it is, RGB.
Yeah. Oh, that was
I saw
Chewy,
like
yeah.
the Mew and things like that.
But
Yeah.
they didn't put Charizard,
Blastoise and Venusaur.
Blastoise, and Venusaur in those rarities, which is like a miss
that
in
we
my-
know of.
Fair.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. We got to get
second
to we got to get to Tinker Time, big dog. It's Tinker Time.
Travis hates Tinker Time.
What do we got for Tinker Time today, Jack?
All right, Tinker Time. Yeah.
Man, last week, dude, I was giving him the best answers for the roll the dice game, and man, I was just slaughtering it on the answers. 1, 2, 2, 2.
So I was telling Kraus
Yeah.
that before you got here today. I
Didn't
was like,
go
you
well.
should have seen Trav have like the hardest time last week on 9 win. We'll have to try that again some point. At some point, I want to do it with both you guys. I think
Fair.
it'd be fun to see you two combat back and forth with your ideas. But today it's a real simple one. We're short on time. We're just gonna do Would You Rather.
Okay.
So I was talking to Kraus earlier. I am taking my wife to go see Spider-Man tomorrow night. So I'm curious your guys' take. One of the Spider-Men in the multiverse has web attachments. The other just comes right out of his arm. Would you rather have the web attachment if you were Spider-Man, or would you rather just be able to, whenever you want, shoot it out your wrist?
Whenever I want.
Whenever you want?
Yep.
Why?
Because that's like built in.
That's fair. Well, if you
Like,
want
what's
to
the, what's the negative
stamina,
repercussions of having it in your arm? Is there any downside to it?
You can turn it off.
You can turn what off?
If you don't have I mean, one of the easiest ways to tell whether you're Spider-Man or not is if someone was to capture you, or, you know, if you're out and about, is you immediately press the center of your palm, or I remember in the first movie, he's like doing this, right? He's like trying to figure out how to, all this stuff. The webbing comes out, right? If you have to have refill cartridges, then you can turn it off. Meaning you can hide everything. There's no physical sign that you are Spider-Man.
Yeah, but then if you get trapped without a cartridge, you're screwed.
Yeah, but you also have like the mental issues, right? Like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had the mental problems. Was it the third one or the second one where he lost his webbing because of things going on in his personal life? Like, could be
It's like kind of like a.
Trav can go skill issue.
yeah, he can't compartmentalize very well.
The downside to the attachments, though, is you could run out
Yep.
and then you're just kind of stuck. So you just got to make sure you always have it.
Yeah, in Spider-Man the Animated Series, he had dead drops all over the city with extra cartridges.
I
in.
mean, if you have a bolt-on accessory that gives you power, why not just have a movie with people hauling guns?
yeah, right. It's the
It's
same
just
thing.
like just give me a bazooka.
Because
give me
it's not his only skill. That's the thing.
yeah.
He's got all this other stuff. He's super strong.
He is super strong.
Is this the first movie that they've had like that
No.
where it's bolt-on?
No.
No,
So they've had 3 Spider-Mans. Only one of the Spider-Man in each of those movies. So you've got Andrew Garfield's, Tobey Maguire's, and Tom Holland's. And based on how they portrayed the character and which Spider-Man they've drawn from in the multiverse, only one of those Spider-Man actually has the fluid, the spider web in
So
his
that's
wrist.
a real thing from the
That's a real
comics.
thing from the
Okay,
comics.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on. Next one, real quick. Would you rather have a Pokemon Center Ascended Heroes ETB right now, or a Pokemon Center Crown Zenith ETB?
Crown Zenith ETB Pokemon Center.
I think Zenith hits its run. I think Ascended Heroes still has room.
I think Ascended Heroes has room as well.
It's half. I think
It won't ever be as old as Crown Zenith, but at the same time, you have the allure of God packs in Ascended
Correct.
that you don't have in Crown.
in Zenith, I think Pokemon Center Plus is like 530, 550-ish. I think Ascended Heroes is a similar price point.
Yeah.
And I think the allure of the God packs takes sealed products for Ascended and pops it once people realize it's no longer being found.
So would you rather have a Prismatic Pokemon Center EPC or ETB or a Ascended? They both have God packs.
I would take the Ascended.
Trav?
I think
The
Pikachu.
Ascended.
Yeah, I think Pikachu and Gengar have a longer line
Then the Evolutions?
than the Evolutions. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you have
Gengar
illustration
pops
rares.
out and is almost as much as a Moonbreon.
Yeah, illustration rares in Ascended as well, and not
Yeah.
in Prismatics.
Not in Prismatic. Correct.
Okay, cool.
I think the allure of the Moonbreon is past its prime. I think it's lost its shine.
You think?
I think so. It still has value. I don't think it's going to go down in value, but that used to be the card that everybody would flex on.
Yeah.
Now
I
it's
remember
not. Now there's multiple.
You were talking about your dad not wanting to pay $300 for a piece of cardboard back when Umbreon was still Moonbreon and it just came out. Dude, I was sitting there like, I ain't paying $300
Yeah.
for that card. I'm never going to own that
Yep.
card. And then we went to 400, then 500, and I'm just like, I should have paid.
Yeah, I feel like when you jump into the hobby, the first big card that you learn of is the Moonbreon, and then like the second is the Lovebirds, and that was kind of standard. Those are like the 2 giant big, and then there's a base set Charizard, of course, and then some other stuff. But I think now you've got stuff in Ascended like the Gengar, like the Trikachu, and even the Phantasmal Flames Charizard now are like almost must-haves to have in your collection. If you don't have those, some 12-year-old's going to look at your collection and be like, yeah, but do you have this? And you're
Yeah.
like, shut up, dude. Right?
It is
So
true.
Umbreon though, in the last, so a PSA 10 was $3,000 January 2025, and now it's up to $4,400. So it's still going up,
Yeah.
and for the pop report being as high
Yeah, that's crazy.
I
as
wish
it
I would
is,
have, man. I
Yeah.
wish I would have. I didn't know.
What's the Greyfell Pikachu at? We know it's popping.
Oh, yeah.
50,000.
Got to tilt Travis right before we
Yeah,
end
right
the
before we
podcast.
that's
exit.
just the dumbest thing.
We need to clip that and just use that all the time. That's just the
Just
dumbest
the
thing.
dumbest thing. Anytime Chewy's.
Dude, is it still rising?
It's rising. In a 10, it is up to 2,900, 3,000. Same thing. So January of 25, do same comparison. So a PSA 10 went from $728 to 3,000. You've had a little over 4x increase in the same time frame that the Umbreon only went up 50%.
Dang, dude. That's crazy.
And the pop reports are so
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
backwards.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks,
That
guys.
was a short
Appreciate
one
it.
today. We will catch you next week, though. And again, let us know about the new layout. Let us know what you like, don't like. Maybe we can do differently. All right. Have a great week.